everyone. So we're in the midst of fall, and this is one of my favorites because we have so many colors and textures, and also we're using marigolds, which is only the second time this year that we've used marigolds, and it'll probably be the last time this year that we use them. They're ripely in season now. These are actually grown in San Diego by a farm called Milano, and they're one of the biggest suppliers of marigolds in California. They also grow actually this grevillea too, and the safari red leucodendron, which is this one. We then have some avalanche roses. These are grown at Pajarosa Floral in Watsonville, so very local, nice and tight, soft petals, a good head shape, so really excited about those. We have some baby's breath that typically I don't really love, but this helps it to create like a really nice texture, so I think that'll look great in this box. And then we have a couple of pieces. These are actually treated leaves. So they are real, but they've been treated and dyed, and they dry really beautifully too. So they still have a soft texture to them, but you can keep repurposing these pieces into other arrangements throughout the year. So we're going to start with the grevillea, and actually what I suggest you do with these pieces is cut them in half actually. Cut them in half so you make smaller pieces from the bigger piece. And actually, because of the way they're shaped, they actually work quite well. And there's not many greens that you can cut in half and still have a nice edge to them, but the grevillea does enable you to do that. Strip any leaves that fall below the waterline. I love the texture of grevillea, and the other thing is you will have seen us use it in a couple of boxes already this season. It's really nice for fall, and it kind of changes to more of a golden color coming up to Christmas. But if you wanted to, you could also spray paint it gold too, which tends to look really nice. So just use it to create shape, covering the kind of perimeter of the vase with the grevillea. And then what I would suggest we do next is take kind of our maple leaves, pull the bottom pieces off because you don't want any to fall below the waterline. And then really, this is just kind of a nice full accent piece to just give a little bit of shape, and also just an accent of yellow, golden brown. I suppose they're more golden and yellow, which I love. So I think it helps to make a really lovely centerpiece. So the baby's breath, you can dry this. So after the arrangement's finished, just pull it out of water and just keep it out of water and it'll dry. I've got a couple of dried pieces already. The only thing about the dried pieces I'd say is that they shed a little bit. But if you're careful with them when you break them up, you just need to vacuum up the smaller pieces. But once you've put them in the arrangement, they don't drop or anything. It's more when you're kind of pulling them apart, because the little pearl balls tend to get tangled up really easily. So what we're going to do with that is just blend it inside our little nest that we've established here. And it just helps to create like a really lovely, flowy texture, which I think looks nice. So now we're going to add our focal flowers. So your marigolds will probably be taller than mine. What you want to do is you want to strip the leaves from these. I don't think they look particularly beautiful with the leaves on. They do have the most amazing fragrance though, marigolds. So just strip the leaves off the stem, give them a French cut, and then you want to break if you've got any with multiple heads on one stem, I would definitely suggest cutting them into multiple pieces, like singular pieces, because then you can use them individually. And because we've got quite a full nest with a lot of elements in it already, as you can tell, it just makes it a lot easier kind of work with the marigolds when they're on their own versus when there's like multiple on one stem. It can become a bit crowded and difficult to place them where you want. So that would be a tip on those. They can decapitate easily too. So we are obviously very conscious of that when we pack the boxes, but just be careful when hat managing them because they have such skinny stems, but they have really, really big heads. So you can lose a head pretty easily. So our secondary flower of the roses, to strip the leaves from the stem of these. If there are any, these are organically grown roses, so you will find that they might brown more easily on the outside. So if you have any browning petals just on the outside, just pull them off. You can blow into the center of them just to kind of release the shape a little bit more. And then what you're looking to do with these is just to blend them in between the marigolds to break them up a little bit. I really love this rose. It's such a lovely farm too, where they're grown, and Californian rose growers really are like such a novelty these days, because there used to be hundreds of rose growers here, and now because a lot of that industry has transitioned to South America, there's only like one or two around, and Padre Rosa are one of the biggest. So it's really lovely to be able to support them this week. So I've just been reminded that I forgot to introduce the arrow. So actually this comes from Louis. He grows this as well as his dahlias, pardon me. I think in my like heavily pregnant state, my memory is just becoming a bit silly. So sorry about that. These also dry really well. So like the baby's breath, you can pull them out of water, just put them in a vase standing upright, and they transition to like a really nice gold color. And we will be using those dried in December because they look like so gold and beautiful. But if you want to hang on to them until then, you can. So just take them out, put them out of water, and then you can just keep using them or create a separate arrangement with them. Look how beautiful they go with the baby's breath too. So those elements on their own with the leaves would be great elements just to keep to one side, and then we can like add some cappuccino roses or some other elements on top of them to kind of bring like a white and gold theme, which I think will be really pretty. And then we have the leucadendron. So this is pretty tall. I'd suggest cutting like a good amount obviously off the stem. You can strip the leaves really easy. It's actually kind of therapeutic to do it, to be honest. And then with this, you just want to use it to add a little bit of texture and color. So just feel free to add it in anywhere you want. So let's see, mine is kind of next to my rose. I might put the other one. It's so full. I'm gonna put the other one over here, like so. And then you feel free to play around just like I'm doing, like checking everything is where you want. And there we have it.